his story, or should I say, his dad's stories. In case you live in a pineapple under the sun, you don't know who his story is. Is this guy on YouTube that make viral shirts? Dark YouTube shirts.
During my son's birthday party,
Wow.
my wife grabbed my arm. "Did you hire a clown?" I quickly said, "No, I didn't hire a clown." "Why?" My wife looked scared and pointed. I looked over and saw a clown was walking my son and 3 other kids into the back of a van. I sprinted over. "Hey, what are you doing? Get away from my kids!" The kids were laughing in the back of the van, thinking this was a game. The clown turned around and smiled creepily. "These kids aren't going home today, and it's your fault." My blood went
Oh my god, not gonna lie. I swear to god, the clown looks funny. I'm sorry, guys.
cold. "What do you mean it's my fault? Who are you?" He reached up and wiped the makeup off his face. "Remember me? 4th grade." My chest tightened because
What
I knew
grade?
exactly who he was. He was my best friend in elementary school.
Oh.
One day, he started messing with a lighter behind our school and accidentally set the whole building on fire. When the cops questioned me, I told the truth and he went to juvie. "You snitched
I swear that was my dream when I was in school. I always dream of burning down the school.
on me and ruined my entire life. You got to grow up, birthday parties, a wife, kids. I got a cell and a criminal record before I turned 11. He's been holding a grudge for years, and now he was getting me back for it. I looked at my son in the back of the van laughing, thinking this was a game. So here's what's going to happen. He pulled out a lighter and shoved it into my chest. "You're going to burn your house down, right now, or I'm taking these kids, and they aren't coming back." My hands were shaking. I looked at my wife, hoping she'd think of something.
I have feast, bro. I got this, bro. You can't tell me that. Well, you can't tell me that. That's what my kids are for, bro. Don't mess with me.
Quick. I saw her quickly pull out her phone and dial 911. I took the lighter like I didn't notice. "Fine, I'll do it." I gripped the lighter and started walking toward my house. I could feel him breathing down my neck, following me. But I was also walking towards the other side of the house, so he'd walk away from the van. I glanced at my wife. She nodded. The second he was far enough from the van, my wife and 2 friends sprinted to the van and grabbed every kid out. He heard the commotion and spun around. "What the?" Bang! I swung the lighter
Exactly.
across his face as hard as I could.
That's
He stumbled
exactly
back.
what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Use your face, bro.
Holding his cheek. Then we heard sirens coming down the street. He looked at the cop cars and tried to run, but his oversized clown shoes caught each other, and he fell flat on his face. The cops cuffed him on
I
my
wish
front
he'd fallen
lawn. The
apart.
kids started clapping and cheering. "Best clown ever, Daddy." I was on a public bus with my daughter when a man in a black ski mask stood up, pointed a gun at all of us, and screamed, "Everybody put your phones in the bag, now!" I yanked my daughter against my chest, ready to do anything to keep her safe. But my teenage daughter clutched her phone in its bulky pink case to her
Give me your
chest,
phone, bro.
shaking her head. "I can't live without my phone, Dad. I'm not giving it to him." My heart stopped. I grabbed her
What do you mean you cannot live without your phone? Oh my god. Ah, I see the problem here. You don't live in Africa. I If you were in Africa, I swear to God, your dad would have killed you. You can't live without your phone. You can't live without your phone, Abby. Hey, you would have been dead if you were in Africa. I swear to God.
arm and begged, "Your life is worth more than a phone. You have to give it to him." But I knew how stubborn she was, and I was terrified she'd get herself killed. The robber stormed down the aisle, shoving his bag in each row, and phones dropped in one by one. But a man near the front clutched his phone and shook his head. "No, bruh, my whole life's on this thing." The robber grabbed
whole
his
life,
collar,
bro.
but the man
You
swung
want
back,
more than the
and they
phone?
slammed into the seats, the gun swinging
Main character.
wildly as
That's
they
what we call
grappled.
the
"You're
main
going to
character
get us all
energy."
killed!" Someone screamed from the back. Then a shot cracked through the bus, the bullet punching a hole through the roof, and everyone ducked. I threw myself over my daughter, shielding her with my body, but underneath me, I felt her hands moving frantically over her phone like she was protecting it, and my heart sank because I knew she was still refusing to give it up. "Please," I begged into
What's wrong with you? Give yourself one. If I were her there, I will slap her in the face. I will slap her in the face. What kind of nonsense is this? For goodness sake. Give, just give.
her ear. Just hand it over. I can't lose you. Then sirens wailed in the distance, and the robber's head snapped toward the window, his grip on the gun tightening as he ripped the fighting man's phone away and stormed toward us. The gun swung toward my daughter. Phone in the bag, now. I was bracing for the worst, but my daughter slowly lifted her bright pink phone and dropped it into his bag. Relief crashed over me as the siren screamed closer, and the robber bolted for the door, but he didn't make it 3 steps before cops tackled him to the pavement. But then my daughter grabbed my arm. Dad, look! She opened her palm, and there sat her phone, glowing out of its bright pink case. I gave him the empty pink case.
I will ground this kid for life. I will seize her phone for life. Because of your stupid cell phone you in your life. Oh my god, bro.
Ace, Dad. I've been texting 911 while you were shielding me. My jaw dropped because the phone...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry. I didn't see that coming.
She swore she couldn't live without was the only reason any of us were still breathing. I finished my 500th push-up and stood up, finally ready to beat my dad. I walked into the kitchen and saw him at the...
What is wrong with these people? Like, what's wrong with these people? Beat up your dad. Bro, you're lucky you're not in Africa. Beat up your dad. Oh God. Beat up your dad.
Head of the table, and Mom flinched as she set down his plate. His face twisted the second he took a bite. Not enough salt. He immediately slapped her. She fell to the floor, locking eyes with me in tears.
Bro,
but Dad just stood up and leaned over her, clenching his fists. What did I tell you about learning to cook? He went to swing at her, but I jumped in and pushed him off, my heart pounding. I screamed, "Get off her, Dad. I'm challenging you to an arm wrestle. If you lose, you're not the strongest man in this house, and you leave me and Mom forever." He instantly started laughing. "You think you can beat me? Remember the last time you tried and lost? I whooped you afterward so bad you couldn't sit for a week." He sat in his chair and slammed his elbow on the table, opening his hand with a grin. My heart pounded, but I sat across from him and gripped his hand. My whole arm tensed, and I locked eyes with Mom. "I got us." We started, and his hand pushed against mine, but I grit my teeth and pushed back, thinking of all my training. And suddenly, I felt his arm give. The smile disappeared from his face, and he strained so hard he went red, but his hand was now inches from the table. Mom covered her mouth, but just as I was about to give the final push to win, Dad reached his free hand out and grabbed the knife off the table. He pressed the tip against my neck. "Are you sure you want to win?" My blood instantly ran cold as the sharp metal rested against my carotid artery. The fight drained out of my arm, and I let his hand drive mine down into the table. I instantly stood up, backing away from the knife as my whole body shook, hugging Mom, who was also shaking. Dad set the knife down and leaned back in his chair. "You're gonna have to kill me to get rid of me." He went back to eating, and that's when I grabbed the knife and drove it into his chest. I was getting rid of him. When I saw my mother with dementia had redecorated my childhood room, I knew something was very wrong. I drove up to check on her at her old house, and my room had 2 twin beds in it. I was an only child. She beamed at her work. "Do you like it? I put clean sheets on for Danny too. Do you know when he's coming by?" My car keys shook in my hand, because there has never been anybody in my family named Danny. I had to find out who my mother thought was sleeping in that bed. "Mom, I'm an only child." She shook her head as she set the table. "Don't start. You know he hates when you do that." She put a 3rd fork down and lined it up square with the edge of the mat. "Tell your brother to come inside before it gets dark." My mother could not tell me what year it was and had called me by her dead brother's name twice on that phone that morning, but there was nothing foggy about how she said that. When she turned back to the stove to finish dinner, I snuck into the den and pulled her photo albums down off the shelf. There was no second boy in any of the pictures. When I got to my 7th birthday party, I saw 2 paper hats on the table in front of me, but the chair next to me was empty. The hair stood up on my arms, and I flipped back through every album, counting at least 50 photos where I was sitting next to an empty chair. I walked back into the kitchen, clutching an album. "Mom, what happened to him?" She stopped with the napkins in her hands and looked up. "Nothing happened. You stopped playing with him." Both of my legs went out as it dawned on me. She didn't make him up. I did. He was the brother I wanted, wasn't he? She nodded. "You wanted a brother so bad, and I couldn't give you one, so you brought Danny home yourself." I looked behind her and pictured the imaginary brother I made up when I was 4, the one her brain decided was real. Instead of breaking her heart, I told her about the time Danny fell out of the tree in the backyard at my 7th birthday party, and she laughed like she'd seen it herself. I was defending a robbery case in court when I stood up and said, "Your Honor, my client is definitely guilty." The courtroom erupted in laughter. Someone yelled, "What is this lawyer saying?" And my client's head snapped toward...
I paid $1 million. I paid money. I paid you, I paid a lawyer with my own money. Eh? And he did this to me. God.
I was sweating buckets because there was only one explanation. That morning, my stupid son had blown out his birthday candles and wished for just one thing. My dad can't lie for the whole day. And now, because of that stupid wish, I was going to
Yeah.
lose this case and end up jobless unless I somehow saved my reputation. The judge leaned forward. Counselor, would you like to rephrase that? I opened my mouth to fix it, but what came out was, no, Your Honor, he did all of it. My client yanked my sleeve and whispered, fix this, or else. My jaw
Bro,
clenched
that
harder
kid.
and harder every second. But then
That's
I got
why
a
they say be
brilliant
careful
idea.
for-
I called
for
my
what
own
you
client
wish.
to the stand. He walked up smiling because we'd planned to feed him easy questions. So I looked him in the eye and asked the first question. Where were you that night? He leaned into the mic all relaxed. At home, sleeping, like I told the cops. But my mouth suddenly interrupted. No, you weren't. You told me you were at the jewelry store where the robbery
my
took
God,
place.
what
The
are you
courtroom
doing?
laughed again, and he gripped the stand.
Bro.
Whose side are you on? Yours.
If I was
That's
the lawyer,
sad
I'm gonna
part.
leave the
I
court,
clamped
I
both
promise.
hands over my mouth, and tears fell through my eyes. I leaned in for my last question. You cracked that vault in 4 minutes all by yourself, right? That's when my client shocked everyone and shot up so fast his chair flipped. 4? No, that's wrong. 3 minutes. I cracked the vault in 3 minutes. Put some respect on my name. The whole courtroom froze, and even the judge's mouth fell open. My client slapped a hand over his own mouth. That's when it hit me. My son's wish had somehow rubbed off on him. The officers grabbed him, and as they dragged him out, he yelled, "It was a Class 4 vault. Put that in the record." The doors slammed, and the judge slowly took off his glasses and looked right at me. In 30 years, I've never known anyone pull the truth out of a man like that.
Bro.
You're the best lawyer I've ever seen. The gallery broke into applause, and the prosecutor slid me his card. Call me if you need a job. I stood there grinning, because my son's wish had both destroyed and saved my reputation.
Alright, I don't know what to do with that story, bro. Like, what? No wonder this guy is blowing up on YouTube Shorts, because I promise you, these stories are very interesting. And you know what else is more interesting? You subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and peace out.